This is Joe Wayne with the AntiCoIntelPro show, and this is Mother of the New World Order, Part 2, the Khazar Connection. And if you remember, if you watched the previous video, the predecessor, Part 1 of this two-part mini-series, then you will remember that what got me started on this whole unraveling of the world ruling system, the hidden hand that rules us all, was my wish to uncover and unravel the Zionist Khazar bloodline of King Bulan. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Yesterday, if you remember correctly, we first associated or related every single U.S. president to the one before him and after him. And the way we did this is there was an article that was written by a 12-year-old little girl, apparently, and it was a school project. But she successfully related every single president to one single ancestor, and that would be one King John of England. So what I did was I wanted to figure out where did King John come from and who was he related to? Well, King John, of course, and Queen Elizabeth, the current ruling matriarch, the monarch of England, well, all of them, every single one of them, started from one single solitary source, and that would be the mother of the New World Order. This was Julia Caesaris, sister of Julius Caesar. And she apparently died on 52 BC. And her brother, Julius Caesar, was a triumvir, 60 BC, sole consul, 49 BC, dictator, 46 BC, imperator and pontifex maximus, 45 BC. And he was assassinated on the day the Senate was to offer him the title Rex in 44 BC. Now, he founded, and she founded, by her bloodline, a new world order. And of course, Julius Caesar was deified in 42 BC. Now, moving on down the Roman branches of this genealogical tree, we will go on down the line, and here you will come to the 15th branch of the tree, Commodus Pomponius. And if that name looks familiar, well, that was the arch nemesis of the gladiator in the movie The Gladiator that was very popular a few years ago. And Russell Crowe, of course, played the lead part of the gladiator. And Mr. Phoenix, the not so likable one, the rogue of the family, he, of course, played the part of Commodus Pomponius, who murdered his father to take over his rule. So going on down and down the Roman branches of the tree. The 35th branch of the tree, you have Charles Martel, Duke of France. And this is where France joined with the New World Order. And this is when they married into the family business, so to speak, of the New World Order and the world ruling elite. Because just as the Rothschilds do, to get into this club, this world domination club, you have to marry in. On 37, you remember the very popular figure of Charlemagne, going down the tree and down the tree and down the tree. Of course, we come to the 48th branch of the tree. And this tree, I believe, this branch of the tree is where the nation of England married into the family business with William the Conqueror. And he was the King of England in 1066 and died in 1087. Wow, they really had short lives then, didn't they? Moving on down. Of course, again, you will have John Landless, King of England. And this is the King John that the little girl tied every single U.S. president but one to, being the common ancestor. This is the King John that she was talking about in the article, in the school project. Then, of course, you will have on the 54th branch, King Edward I Longshanks. And again, he was the arch nemesis of William Wallace. Two very real figures of history that both played in the fictional movie of Braveheart. Moving on down. Of course, Queen Victoria on the 73rd branch of this tree. And she is the great grandmother of the current monarch of the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth. Now, what we're going to do, since we have already related all of these nations of France and England and the Roman empires to one single solitary source, and that would be the mother of the New World Order, Julia Caesaris, the sister of Julius Caesar. Now we're going to tie into, or we're going to see where the Zionist Khazars enter into the family business. And we will do that by traveling on down into line C of the genealogy tree for Julius Caesaris. And going on down line C all the way down to the bottom, you will come to the 31st branch of this line C of the Julia Caesaris genealogical tree. And this branch is Epiphania. The reason this is a very important branch is because this is where the king of the Khazars entered into the world ruling elite family. This is where he married into the family business. And this was Harbarus, king of the Khazars, the first, born in 630 AD, son of Zebul, Tong Yabgul Khan, king of the Turks and the first king of the Khazars, 618 to 627. And if that name Khan sounds vaguely familiar, folks, well, it is because this is where Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, this is where they all come from, because the Khazarian Empire was nestled firmly between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, on the borders of Turkey and Hungary. This was right there in the Caucasus Mountain regions, okay? So this is where the Mongolians, who were barbarians, if you know your history, and they were mercenaries, this is where the Khazars come from. So we're moving on down to Anastasia, the 32nd branch, Queen of the Khazars. Again, another Kagan, which a Kagan is a Khazarian word for king. That's their form of a king. And moving on down, you will have the 35th branch, Bihar, the 9th king of the Khazars, brother of Bulan, King Bulan, or Chagan, or Kagan Bulan, 8th king of the Khazars. And this is exactly where, in every single one of these bloodlines, where do they start? With Julius Caesaris. Moving on down, where do they all end? They all end, folks, with Queen Elizabeth. So this is where the Zionist Khazars, and if you know anything about history, folks, you will know that Zionism is not a religion. It is not a race. Zionism is a political agenda. And I have not one single issue with the Khazars. So in 740 AD, they had to leave their homeland and they had to migrate to the Middle East. Well, this is when they decided to call themselves Jewish. They usurped the Jewish religion, the Jewish identity. 90% of world Jewry is now genetically Khazars. They're not Jews. The actual Jews, well, they're not white, folks. They're black. They're Asiatic. But one thing they are of the Jewish sect is actually Khazars. So here is the connection with the New World Order, the Khazar connection. They are all related and come from one source, and that is Julia Caesaris. and they all are related to every single U.S. president and every United Kingdom British monarch and patriarch, and they all land right at the doorstep of Queen Elizabeth, the current monarch of England, or the United Kingdom, if you will. Now, I have to tell you this one thing, folks. I don't have anything against anybody except for a liar, a murderous thug, a pedophile, somebody who uses fear to control. And I can promise you this one thing. If you watched any of my videos before this one, if you watched any of my previous videos, I will never try to control any of the viewers or listeners using fear. I will support every single thing I say with historical documentation, because the only people that would try to control you using the elixir of fear are the same people that have to control people that other ruling parties by knowing their secrets, their deep, dark secrets. And it's actually mutually assured destruction. That's why they all intermarried, and you don't get any political power. You don't get any ruling power in the world if you're not related to this one New World Order family that began in 52 BC with Julius Caesarus and is currently just going crazy today, folks. The main reason that they are just really going off the rails with their false flags is because they're coming to the end of their reign. The last 2,500 years or so, we've been in the age of Pisces. Well, we are now going into the age of Aquarius, and that is an energetic change. Just like the moon affects our tides, every single planetary body that we come in contact in, or even our position within the galaxy, within the greater universe that we all live in, has an effect on us, has an energetic effect on us. So we are going into the age of Aquarius, and that means that they won't be able to lie to us anymore. If you noticed a change, folks, if you noticed people waking up left and right, if you noticed all of these false flags that the New World Order, the ruling elite, the system, the corporate fascist system has tried to pull from, and I think it began with Sandy Hook, okay? Well, they were routed and outed immediately. They are panicking because they are losing all control of the fear-induced reality that they have forced on us all. The age of Aquarius is upon us, and the age of Pisces is starting to fall behind us and taking their lies and deception and control via fear right along with it. So get a grip on reality, folks. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Anything that I can answer, I will answer to the best of my abilities. And if I can't, I'll try to facilitate the answer with directing you to a source that I feel comfortable that can answer your questions. This is Joe Wayne with the AntiCoIntelPro Show. Good day.